Vinju is going to be first up. Oh no, versus Chicago, who wasn't even able to get a full Fleshcraft in. Oh no. But Chicago's playing Enhance, full Ascendance, trying to see maybe we can blast out damage on Vinju. Needs to burn throughout Fleshcraft. Ghost Wolves are joining the fight, or rather Ghost Raptors. Vinju without Thorns, just trying to see if we might be able to tussle with Chicago. Chicago without Wall. Vinju might have maybe overstayed his welcome, trying to go for a Roar, but I think it's only going to distract and destroy the Wolves, or rather the Raptors. And Chicago's Ascendance is going to be down for the count. Earth Elemental is going to deny Vinju that reset that he needs. But he's going to go in bear form, get himself a regrowth. That's yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to get a Fleshcraft for a while, is he? Quick root onto that bet. And is looking to get back over to Chicago. We got ourselves iFox over in Team 2. We got Holy Hands on the back. We got ourselves Foe, King, Hobo. We got Hobo in there as well as Harkers versus Barlot over on the Team 1 was a Marksman. We got ourselves Curious as a Red, Lopping in the back as well as Riley. And Vinju getting back in, full bleeds onto Chicago. It's going to be that Static Totem, keeping Vinju in place. Does he have a stun to follow? Just a Sunder. It looks like Vinju didn't really want to go anywhere. He did take down the totem. The stun totem came down a little bit late. Chicago is kind of low in health, has plenty of mana to work with. Vinju popping up on the bear from Friends of Regen. So it's actually going to be kind of okay. Quick charge over Chicago. If Vinju goes behind the pillar to reset, that's the thing where it's bad for Chicago. But if Vinju just sits out in the open, that's probably better for Chicago, honestly. Quick Fleshcraft, does Chicago catch up to it? Trying to interrupt the last second, is unable to. So that's going to be at least a full shield for a fellow Druid. So he can keep on trucking versus Chicago. Chicago's going to have to go for an interrupt versus Vinju and go for Fleshcraft of their own at some point, I think. Maybe might have to play it low Maelstrom and maybe try to see if he can maybe get a kick out of Vinju. But definitely gonna have to go for a Fleshcraft at some point or another. Sunder, missing it. Shackles, maybe has a grounding totem for it. Fleshcraft is up for the damn. It looks like the Feral was not able to get himself a good Skull Bash around the corner. Chicago was able to at least get some sort of a shield. And that shield helped a little bit with the Shackles and Malediction. Still put up necrotics, but hey, afterwards you have a shield. You don't gotta worry about it. Chicago getting real low with a bash, trying to go for as much self-healing as possible. Drain our Racial in order to give him a bit more healing. Trying to heal through the damage, but I don't know if they can really do much about it. It's gonna be just Moonfires from afar from Vinju. And Chicago and Ghosto just trying to get himself as much healing as possible. Vinju just continuing to blast Moonfires at Chicago. Gonna be the Frost Shock. Maybe Vinju can go from behind the pillar and catch a reset. Does get himself a bit of reset. Looks like it's gonna be a sentence for Chicago. The Feral is nowhere near a pillar. Try to see if he can bail out of there. Chicago actually getting some bit of blast and procs in there. Maybe that's the plan, is to maybe stun Vinju, slow him down, and go for full Ascendance. Vinju with full Thorns up and running. Chicago is able to at least generate a lot of Maelstrom. Back into Ghost Wolves again, try to walk him away from a pillar. Sunder onto Vinju. Does not sit that Sunder for long at all. Maybe could have went with a Capacitor Totem as well. And Vinju just goes in for a full reset behind the pillar. Chicago, I think, just has to play the tough match of literally sitting out there, letting the Feral open up on him, put him as far away from pillar as he can, and then hoping for the best to try to be able to take him out. Chicago gets super low. Static Totem onto the Feral. You're just going to stay in and maybe try to kill the Totem. And Chicago got himself a little bit of rehealing there. But Vinju just needs that line of sight. He might be able to use the corners of the arena to do so. Mame onto Chicago. I think it's over, right? How do you deal with this Feral? This guy's just going for full reset. Chicago got himself last ditch effort to armor, trying to do whatever it can. But at least it's just trying to get Vinju out in the open. Maybe hit him with a Flame Shock, do what he could. Man, that is difficult. How do you defeat that? How do you beat Vinju, dude? He's just super tanky. I actually wonder what kind of a Covenant, Legendary he's playing. Is he playing like the Bear's form? Barkskin? There's no way, right? Like, what setup is he playing, dude? There's gotta be something. Because I know the Ferals have been kind of rough to deal with, but this guy is just on a whole nother level. iFox is gonna be up next, trying to see if he can hunt Vinju down. Flayed Shot up and running, throwing in grenades. And might be able to get the Penitent. At least get the Hunter's Marks to the Feral. Will have a hard time resetting. Might be able to Trank Shot the Thorns off him as well. And I believe as long as iFox doesn't get any autos, I think any of his attacks also do not give him Thorns. Gonna be, or do not give him the Thorns slow, rather, or the damage. Gonna be quick Steel Trap as Vinju trying to get himself an opener, trying to keep the dots. And it looks like he's actually just stacking the ped. Quick Shapeshift out of form so he can ignore the Scarab Beast and might be able to get some bleeds on iFox. Gonna be freeze with a Trinket. Vinju put himself out in the open. Stun, but it looks like a more defensive stun as iFox has a lot of dots, trying to go for another Fear. Vinju is at least power shifting, able to get himself some hots. But iFox is still under quite a bit of pressure. Going to be that Chimeric to slow down Vinju, slow down Silence, as well as reduce the amount of healing and damage that he does. Full Flesh Cut is up for Vinju though, and iFox looking for that reset of their own with the Manic Bandage. Vinju making sure that there's some dots on the pet at all times, so eventually the pet could rot. iFox with the freezing trap as Vinju gets up close, is able to at least make sure there's some space between him and the feral. Kill shots coming through, but the fleshcraft is going to absorb a lot of those hits, absorb the impact of a lot of the dot, the rod, the explosions. Thorns is up, and that's going to be bashed as iFox looking to disengage out as Vinju just not letting him go anywhere at all. Coordinated assault, iFox maybe can get some damage in. That is still Thorns by Vinju, trying to harpoon as a feral, looking to round the bend. Freezing trap, but looks like the dots and maybe the Battle Master trinket fell off, and the dots did him in. Hobo is going to be up next as a Boomkin. I believe in the Boomkin dream. I believe that this Boomy can maybe defeat Vinju. I want to believe. Thorns is up, got himself full incarnation. That's going to be Fury of Valoon leaping around the corner. Vinju is having to play it very defensively. Bear form trying to go for a bit of healing. And Hobo charging at him while in travel form is going to catch a reset for a second. Guts and bleeds on him. That's going to be full convoke. Interrupted. Does he have any sorcerers? Vinju is kind of low. He's going to get himself frenzied reach and emergency healing to recover. Regrows for both of them as both of them just at a standstill. He just continued to make sure that there's always stars falling on Vinju. He also is playing the Starburst, so maybe he can go pick up a Starburst so he can get a knock up on a feral, because while the feral is knocked up, I don't think he can do much in terms of defense or offense. Roar onto Vinju for a second, but the dots are still on him. Shackles of Malediction, and Hobo might be able to... I don't even know how he dealt with that. Maybe just Shadow did? Trying to go for some regrowth. Hobo is real low on health though. Vinju got himself plenty of recovery. He is still ahead. And Hobo just making sure there's Moonfire and Sunfire into Vinju. There's nothing that Vinju can do to remove those dots. They're not the strongest dots. At least they are going to help. Hobo trying to go for a knockback. This is going to be lead by Vinju. And Hobo just sees himself a little bit more healing. Flash got up for Vinju. Hobo trying to regrow. Does he have to go maybe for a Convoke out of Boomy form? Just for a reheal? I think he's still got dots. I think it's over. And that's just going to be a quick shred by Vinju. Taking him out. That is so rough. Holy Hands or maybe Arcturus? What's going to be next? Who wants to duel this? Who's going to be first? Looks like it's going to have to be Holy Hands. Maybe Holy will be able to do summon versus Vinju. I don't think Vinju has had a bad streak ever. I think last time Lopping played versus the boys, but I don't think Vinju ever had a bad streak. I think he won every single one of his duels so far. Hodge on the Vinju, no wreck for Holy Hands. Doesn't really have a lot of pressure. Doesn't really have a lot of damage. 31% dampener is the only thing that's really putting pressure on him. And his lack of healing in the moment. Vinju has a trinket, has the wall. He has every defensive to deal with Holy Hands. Bozak has a bark skin in his back pocket. Shield of Vengeance is up. And it looks like Vinju doesn't want to touch it. Is going to go for a reset. Frenzied Regional Bear Form. Holy Hands charging at him. No longer has a flesh cut, so it's not going to pop back. And Vinju was far enough away from Holy Hands to catch a reset. Blessing of Protection is up for the Paladin. Vinju can at least spam up Moonfires and even the Cyclone just to make sure that Holy Hands doesn't get any kind of healing. The Paladin is playing Relentless, so he's going to sit in CC for a little bit less long, but he's still going to take majority of the full CCs. It's just whenever you go back-to-back stuns, back-to-back clones, back-to-back any CC, they're just going to lose out some value. Holy Hands trying to see if he can heal themselves. Battle Master Trinket activated. Main by Vinju. Does he just go down here? Regrowth by Vinju as he's literally prepared to fight the next guy. Holy Hands does get himself Word of Glory, but I think it's just one more shred, one more bite, and Arcturus is the last one left. As a Flash Guide is up for Vinju. 11 minutes of his duel, 38% dampener. The A-Bomb joins in, and looks like Vinju is going to have to walk by the A-Bomb. Gonna be a full Necrolord dots on Arcturus right now, and Vinju bails out of that completely as he got him dotted up with the Swarm, and Arcturus eventually his Flesh Capped I think is gonna take out. I don't think Vinju got the strongest dots, but at least he got some form of dots. Vinju backing up out of there again, avoiding that A-Bomb completely, just barskins and runs past it. At least his Flesh Cut is down, so maybe for Arcus, if he can get himself another full burst with Apocalypse, he might be able to make something happen. Maybe he can make Vinju walk into the into Death and Decay. Vinju unable to get himself a proper reset though, so he's missing out on that opener Rake Stun, the extra bleed that comes off it. Gonna be that pet. Sacrifice that I think a new one summoned, unless it was just a pet that botted up by the feral. Full Swarm is up. Vinju could be in bit of trouble. Thorns is up, and Arcturus has himself Spell Warden, so he's going to be constantly getting the proxy to deal with Thorns. Quick roll into Arcturus as well as the Army of the Dead. Vinju with behind the pillar, 43% dampener. The Army of the Dead does surround him. They are attacking, clawing at him. Going to be the grippy hand with the A-Bomb limb. Wall is up for Vinju as Arcturus pops off IBF in order to try to tank up some of this damage versus the feral Druid. Brutus lashes to build him a ton of calm points, trying to go for regrowth. Maybe wants to go for a Flesh Cut. That might not be a bad idea if you just want to try casting it in his face. Gonna be Shackles and Malediction. Arcus with the AMS, trying to deal with some of the Shackles damage. Richard could be in trouble. Wait, does Arcus do it? Arcus actually does defeat him. Oh my goodness. He breaks the cycle of a Feral running out and just nuking everybody down. Barlotta is gonna be up next. Rapid fire kill shot. Doesn't really give Arcus much of a chance as he's caught out without any cooldowns available. Vinju just absolutely savaged out the whole team, but Archer is the Death Knight. This is the Death Knights we can trust. Playing on Holy while you're at it, was able to finally take the Feral Menace out.